Good morning and welcome into the Lifeline Morning Show. I'm Steven. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. You know, I love getting your day started off on the right foot. And with that in mind, here is your inspiring quote of the day from Marie Curie, who said, "We must believe that we are gifted for something and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained." I love that because there's something about purpose. There's something about knowing that there's a plan for your life that spurs you on. It helps you keep moving. It's like, hey, I'm alive for a reason. What is that reason? Well, I think we're all kind of in the same process of discovering that, but there are a few scriptures I want to bring to mind to kind of show you the importance of that purpose, all right? How God has plans for us, how He has called us to certain things. You see, Jeremiah 29:11, you probably know this one by heart. "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope in the future." You're like, Steven, you're taking that totally out of context. I understand that argument, but what I'm saying is there's a plan. There's a purpose. Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, "Perhaps you were born for such a time as this." I love that. Romans 8:28, "And we know that for those who love God, all things work together for good, for those who are called according to His purpose." Wow, I could keep going. You want me to? Here's one more. Psalm 33:11, "The plans of the Lord stand firm forever, the purposes of His heart through all generations." And I could keep going, but I'll stop right there. What I'm trying to get across is God has made sure that you're on this earth right now for a reason. He's got a plan and a purpose for your life. And there's just something awesome about that the creator of the universe is using me to fulfill something that He wants done. That's a pretty big deal. That's a huge responsibility. That's all the more reason to go after that thing. So I just wanted to give you a little encouragement today. If you've been feeling aimless, listless, like you don't quite know what you're doing, don't worry. Stay in communication with your Father. Ask Him to put things in your path that will show you a little more of His purpose for you. And as you start to fulfill those, you'll see the big picture more and more. He sees the whole thing from the end, right? So I was thinking about this. I believe God made sure you were born right now so that you would have the answer to the problem of a friend, of a coworker, of a family member. God knew you would have the solution. That's the reason why you were born. And that's just one little small piece of the puzzle. So I just wanted to give you a little encouragement, a little inspiration. Keep moving forward. You have a purpose. God has a plan for you. And hey, it's our job to walk it out. And that's the best journey we could ever take because we know He's with us every step of the way. Here's Phil Wickham with "This Is Our God." In days gone by, when you were getting ready to go on vacation, lots of times you would see if the local kennel had a spot for your pup, or maybe a family member could take care of them while you were gone. Because, you know, when you travel, a lot of places aren't really dog friendly. Well, that's a ways back. That's a while ago. A lot of hotels have stepped up and said, hey, you can bring your dog. Here are our stipulations. You want to bring them? Go ahead. But there's one in particular that says, hey, we want to see your pet. Please bring them. So much so, they may actually pay you for bringing that pet along with you. I'll tell you how your dog might be able to pull their weight. Finally, earn a little money for the family. Pay some rent. Just stick around. We're going to have fun with this. After Cochran & Company and Who Can? They're part of the family too, so why don't they have a place to stay? Well, I'm glad to say that a lot more places are dog and pet friendly now. And lots of times they have to be under a certain weight, things like that, which kind of was a problem when we had Max. You see, Max was about 120 pounds. He was a lap dog, but he was a lot bigger than he thought he was. Anyway, that guy, let me tell you, we had to check with our local kennel to see if maybe they had room for him whenever we'd go on vacation, until we started doing some camping. And when you do camping, well, I mean, your dog can be in your camper. So that was a lot of fun, taking him to the beach, taking him up to the Smoky Mountains. It was a blast, right? Well, there is one chain, one hotel chain that says, hey, we want you to bring your pet with you. In fact, we might just pay you for that. So here it is. $10,000 as a hotel brand ambassador is what your dog could make. So Baymont Hotels is looking for a travel-loving pup to serve as its Baymont Buddy of the Year and star in a digital marketing campaign. The chosen pooch will receive $5,000 cash, a 2-night stay for a campaign photo shoot, an additional $5,000 for travel expenses, and an upgrade to Wyndham Rewards Diamond status. Ooh, very sophisticated, right? So to qualify, your dog has to be well-trained enough to pose for photos, great with strangers, and a ham on camera, but they can be any breed. You can submit your pet's application and a photo now through October 17th. So you got to email the image to BaymontBuddy@wyndham.com and tell the company in 250 words why your dog is the best candidate. So there you go. How much fun is that? You know, they're always freeloading, right? Always just enjoying our food and just living up their best life. Well, now they could pull their weight a little bit and earn the family a little bit of money. How much fun is that? So if you got a photogenic pooch who's really good with strangers, you might want to look into this. Again, the deadline is October 17th, and you'll have to email them at BaymontBuddy@wyndham.com. Just wanted to let you know what was up with that. Now your word of life. Today from James chapter 1, verse 12, in the New Living Translation of the Bible. God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. Wow, what a reward, right? But in the moment, being patient is not so easy. I get it. I'm right there with you. But, you know, there is a reward for it. So why don't you share that word of life with somebody and hold fast, stay strong, keep moving forward, all right? We've got that word of life ready for you across all of our socials and at the top of our website, 885jfm.com. A big shout out to our friends in Grant, Alabama, listening right now on the stream, and our friends over in Helsinki, Finland. And hey, if you'd like to stream us whenever you're away from your radio or outside of our listening area, it's real easy. Just click that On Now button, press play, and you're good to go. From our website, 885jfm.com. There's this 3-letter word that we absolutely love to hear, and that is yes. I mean, there's something liberating about the word yes. When you're a kid and you ask your mom if you can have something you're expecting to know and she says yes, oh, life is good, right? But let's be honest. As adults now, there are a lot of things that we can say yes to that rob us of the time that we need to spend on other things. And if we're not careful, we kind of spread ourselves thin. You know what I mean? It's like if I give so much time to this, then I can't spend time doing that. And that over there is very important to me. So how do you handle that? I know we've got to use that 2-letter word that we hated as kids, no. And no is not really a negative thing, especially when it means that it's bringing you joy. It's bringing you the time that you need to spend on the things that are most important to you. Hey, I came across this comment from Jesse Itzler, and I thought that I would share this with you. See what you think about putting your life into buckets. What? Yeah, it's a pretty cool concept. Take a listen.
I literally put my life into 4 buckets: business, wellness, family, and relationships. If it's not moving the needle in my business, with my family, with my relationships, or my wellness, my health, it's a waste of my time.
What do you think about that? Sometimes you've got to prioritize, and there's nothing wrong with that. So if you got to say no, so be it. Here's 10th Avenue North. God still does miracles. I got a call just a few minutes ago, and I've just got to share it with you. What a testimony. Take a listen. Good morning, Ashley. You felt like you needed to call and share a story. I'm all ears.
Okay, so some of you know that my son Montgomery, that he has had ear problems since he was 11 months old, and he has went through numerous surgeries to try to fix his ears, and he has actually lost hearing in pretty much both of his ears. And he's had reconstructive surgery in his right ear to fix his eardrum and create a new eardrum, and that surgery did not work, and that was a couple of years ago. And so we went to Vanderbilt over the summer, and he had reconstructive ear surgery. This was kind of his last chance at being able to hear. So that happened on July the 12th. Surgery went great. There was a little slight complication. The doctor said it was nothing major to worry about, but we went back to school, and everything was going good. And about 2.5 weeks ago, Montgomery got sick with an ear infection in that ear. And it didn't look good. We were felt like everything was going kind of downhill with that ear. So it was an ear, and because after you have that kind of surgery, it gets infected, then that's it. So the doctor's putting him on antibiotics, and we were scheduled to go back. His ear infection kind of cleared up, but we had to go back. So the doctor, his family doctor, said that it was bleeding in there, like it was fresh blood.
Mm-hmm.
So we were pretty devastated. We thought that, that meant, going through it before, that meant that his hearing was going to be lost, and that was going to be it. So we all started praying and just believing, really myself, because I was very devastated. And we just believed, if you have faith of a mustard seed, that's what the Bible tells us, then, we can move mountains. And, Jeremiah 29:11, that God has a plan for our lives.
Right.
And, from Friday until yesterday, we were struggling, to have that faith, because this is a big deal, your child's hearing. So finally, I went to the doctor yesterday, and the doctor looked at his right ear, and he told us, he said, his eardrum is perfect. He said it is exactly where it should be. He said there is no infection. He said, I'm not sure what they saw. He said, but he said it is absolutely beautiful. He said the reconstruction is perfect, and he printed us out pictures. So that was a God thing.
Yeah.
From where it was Friday to Tuesday. So I just feel like that there's a lot of people out there facing, what looks like the impossible. Whether, it's their child's hearing, whether it's, something at work, something at school, something, that looks like the impossible. But just remember, God's the same as he was, he's the same today as he was 2,000 years ago. And even before that, he was the same God that created everything. And he's the same God that parted the Red Sea. He's the same God that rose Lazarus from the dead, and Jesus dead. And he's the same God that's coming back one day. So he can still perform the miracles that we hear about. We just have to have the faith. Just that little bitty faith of a mustard seed.
Wow.
To see things.
Yes. Thank you so much for that testimony. You're going to touch some people's hearts today. That was amazing. Thank you so much, Ashley.
All right, thank you. You have a great day.
All right, you too. I'm so thankful to hear stories like that encourage my faith, that let me know that God is still in the miracle working business. He still heals. And yeah, Montgomery can hear. That eardrum is just as it should be. I think that's awesome. So I just wanted to encourage your faith today with that. Ashley, thank you so much for sharing that with all of us. Wow, that's good stuff. All right, it's 7 o'clock. You know what that means? It's time to do a little something. Stick around. I got something right after this ID. You know how this works, right? Say it with me in 3, 2, 1. Give me the horn. All right, we got the horn. Let's crank that engine. Let's start that music so I can say, hey, everybody, it's time to play the Carline competition. Your chance to win 3 gift cards this morning. 1 to Wendy's for a Frosty, another to Albertville Home Bakery for a couple of cupcakes or cookies, and another to the Caring Heart Thrift Store in Arab. 1 to keep, 2 to give away. You got to answer a question, though. So here it is. The first question of today's Carline competition goes a little something like this. All right, which word roughly means the same as beseech? Is it impasse, impulse, implore, or impound? 256-505-0885 is the number to call. Again, which word roughly means the same as beseech? Is it impasse, impulse, implore, or impound? 256-505-0885 is a number to call, and there's my caller. I'm going to capture it right now. Stay on the phone line with me while I start Mac Powell in 1991. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
As always, I am blessed
That's right, and highly favored.
with God and man.
Oh, you added another line. We're going to get that whole scripture in there before too much longer. Yeah. So, remind me again, your son is playing drums?
Yes.
I
You got a
thought
good
so.
memory.
How is he liking it?
How are you liking it, son?
Oh, I love it.
I love it, yeah.
Very good. Cool. Well, stick with it. I've been playing now for almost 31 years, and it's a lot of fun. All right, here's a question I got. Which word roughly means the same as beseech? Is it impasse, impulse, implore, or impound?
That would be implore.
Yes, I implore you. Mm-hmm. Great. You just won 3 gift cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm so excited too. So I love that you get a free gift card, but then I love this too, that you get 2 to give away to 2 very special people. And right now, you get to tell me about them. So who are they?
Well, I'm going to tell you about my special people, but I want to roll my gift cards over.
Oh, okay. Cool. All right.
My special people would be my neighbor, Patty Condon. She's a good friend, a good prayer partner, just a special person, and very, very kind.
Nice.
And then my other friend, Jeannie Jagger. Jeannie is like always the life of the party. When the 2 of us get together, not that we're trouble, but we always say we're trouble when we're together. Just one of those people that bring out the laughs in you.
Oh, that's awesome. I could tell because as soon as you started to say her name, you started to chuckle a little bit. So I know they light up your life. So that's awesome. Very cool. Well, thanks for sharing the love, and we'll make sure that these gift cards are rolled on over. Y'all have a wonderful day.
Thank you. All right. God
All right.
bless you.
God bless you. So that one word beseech, it brings to mind a particular scripture. Do you know which one I'm talking about? Romans 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable to God, which is your reasonable service. And this is the part I love too. And do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that you may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. So there it is, that word used in Scripture. Again, that's Romans chapter 12, verse 1. All right, let's get back to it. I got another question here. Could land you not 3, but 6 gift cards now because of that rollover. So here it is. What is a polyglot? Is it A, a person who can speak many languages, B, an 8-sided figure, C, a corrugated plastic roofing sheet, or D, a South American parrot? 256-505-0885. Again, the question is this. What is a polyglot? Is it A, a person who can speak many languages, B, an 8-sided figure, C, a corrugated plastic roofing sheet, or D, a South American parrot? 256-505-0885. Waiting on your call right now. You could be taking home 6 gift cards. How cool is that? That's a lot of love to share with a lot of people. 256-505-0885. Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, are we feeling lucky?
We are.
Awesome. So who all's in the car right now?
It is this lady,
What's your name?
Christy Berry.
Oh, okay, very cool. How's Rain doing this morning?
She's doing awesome. I've just dropped her out to school.
Oh, I bet she was sad. She's like, I can't play, but Mom, you can. Win those gift cards.
Win them, Mama, win them.
I love it. All right, so I got this question here. What is a polyglot? Is it a person who can speak many languages or an 8-sided figure?
A person who can speak many languages.
Yes, that's correct. Congratulations. You just won 6 gift cards. Now, can you speak more than one language?
No.
No?
I can speak a little Spanish, but not enough to carry on a conversation.
I
I
understand.
know a few words.
Yeah, same here. And Grace, she'll rattle them off what I've taught her, and I know very, very little. So she'll do the whole, ¿Cómo está? Muy bien, you know, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of fun to play around with. But yep, that won you 6 gift cards, a lot of love you can share with a lot of people. I wonder if you could tell me about 2 very special people that mean a whole lot to you.
Yes, I have a pastor friend who is actually at our home church, Union Hill, and his wife is Precious. She is the most amazing, loving person there is. Her name is Jess, and she is just precious.
Oh,
Caring, loving, and all things above.
wow. And who's that second person?
The second person is going to be my mom. She helps us out a lot of times. She goes out of her way to help with Rain and does just anything that we need her to do and helps us out all the time. She picks Rain up from school and does all the little things that if it wasn't for her, we wouldn't have anybody to help us.
I understand.
She's amazing.
Good family, good friends make life a whole lot easier, don't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I wanted to share with you, Rain is in Grace's class
Yeah?
this year, and Rain told me this morning, she said, I want to sign a Silent Night to you. And I was like, you want to do what? And she said, yes, Grace has taught me how to do it. You know Grace Spiegel. And so Rain was super excited that Grace had taught her that. She said, I've learned it in 2 days. Grace is such a good teacher.
Oh, sweet.
So we may need to send one of those gift cards to Grace, too. She's a precious friend to Rain.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you so much. I know that Grace loves being in class with Rain. I think maybe they're kind of thick as thieves in there. If they don't watch it, they get a little too rambunctious and they can get in trouble. But hey, that's what best friends do.
Absolutely. That's the way they roll, right?
Exactly.
That's the way it was when we were in school, too.
Yeah, of course. All right, then.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye. And just like that, the car line competition is done for the day, but don't worry, we've got another chance for you to win tomorrow morning starting at 7 o'clock. And hey, the winning's not over yet today either, because coming up at 8 o'clock, I've got your chance to win the last family 4-pack to Lake Winnie. That's right, one more chance, because their last day, you know, the water park being open, all that is coming up on the 1st, or actually the 4th of September, which is next Monday. So you've got one more chance to get that one in, and it's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, a family 4-pack, and I'll be asking a riddle. So you'll have to riddle me this. Be listening for your chance to win. All right, more great music headed your way. Got Josh Baldwin and Let the Redeemed right here, right now on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better and hopefully a little more fun. There's one stuffed animal in particular my daughter must have before she can go to sleep, and that is Mr. Buster Brown. Now, Mr. Buster Brown is actually a family mainstay. You see, this little puppy, well, it was my wife's stuffed animal that she slept with when she was a kid. So it's now on its second generation. How cool is that? So I wonder if your child has a toy or a doll or a stuffed animal they just cannot part with. Well, I want you to be thinking about that, because coming up after I give away the family 4-pack to Lake Winnie, I'm going to be sharing a couple stories with you about just that. One little girl who was missing her best friend, and then another girl here locally who has one of those stuffed animals. You're going to love both of these stories, so stick around, okay? And plus, I mean, who wouldn't love winning a family 4-pack to Lake Winnie? One more chance to make some summer memories with the family. Yeah, we're giving you that chance coming up here at the top of the hour. So, hey, if I were you, I'd put a smile on my face and wait for the cue to call. And go ahead and put it on speed dial, okay? All right, here's Sidewalk Prophets with Smile. Oh, don't mind me. I'm just kind of hanging out here in the studio. You don't really think about this, I bet, but I'm sitting in the studio all by my lonesome. And actually, I kind of enjoy working alone because I can kind of focus on my next story. And sure, it's good to have some conversation in the studio, but I mean, come on, I can focus everything in on my efforts to help make your day just a little bit better. Oh, okay, it's 8 o'clock now. I was just trying to kill some time because I got to do something. Fancy seeing you here. You know what time it is, right? It's the top of the hour, time to give away a Lake Winnie family 4-pack. It all hinges on whether you can riddle me this. What can you put in a bucket to make it weigh less? 256-505-0885. Call me up, give me the right answer, and win this family 4-pack. Just remember, if you've already won Lake Winnie passes, you're ineligible to win them, so somebody new has to call. But you know what? A family 4-pack, a whole lot of fun to finish out the summer. Who doesn't want that, right? What can you put in a bucket to make it weigh less? Call me up, 256-505-0885, and you will win a family 4-pack to Lake Winnie. Looking forward to giving them away. Waiting on that phone to ring. Goodness, it's not lighting up yet. Oh, there it is. All right, here's Red Collective with Hallelujah Anyway. Good morning.
Hey, Steven.
What's going on?
Nothing much. Just got pulled into work.
All right. Well, so what's on the agenda for today?
Just work.
Just work? Just plenty of work.
Yes, sir. I work at Downtown Rescue Mission here in Albertville, Alabama.
Very cool. All right. So, hey,
Yes,
that
sir.
seems like a pretty fulfilling job. Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, I'm actually a warehouse worker. I put out all the housewares, the toys, the sporting goods, and electronics every day.
Oh, wow. So a lot of electronics, huh?
Yes.
That's my favorite section of the stores whenever I go in them is let's go see what they got. What kind of tech they got today?
Yes, that is the men's favorite section for sure.
Right? For sure. All right.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. So have you been to a water park yet this year?
Yes, actually, down in New Brockton, close to Enterprise, and so we went to the water park there, but we've never went to Lake Winnie, so I'm excited to win these tickets for us.
Yeah, I'm excited too. And it all hinges on whether you can answer my riddle. So riddle me this. What can you put in a bucket to make it weigh less?
A hole.
Exactly right. Congratulations. You just won a Lake Winnie family 4-pack. It's going to be a lot of fun. How does that make you feel?
I'm so excited, honestly.
I am too. I'm very excited for you. Cool. All right, so let me grab your address real quick so I can get this family 4-pack sent your way.
Okay, thank you so much, Stephen.
You're welcome, Amanda. We've talked before, haven't we?
Yes, sir, we have. I've won some gift cards for the Albertville Home Bakery before.
Yeah.
On the car line
Very good.
competition. So, yeah.
So you've been a long-time listener, huh?
Yes, sir, I have. Many, many years.
Well, thank you so much for listening. Could I ask you one last question?
Yes, sir.
Why do you listen to this radio station?
Because it's uplifting and encouraging music.
Very good.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
You're very welcome. Have a great day.
Thank you. You too.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
The last Lake Winnie family 4-pack of the season was just given away. Amanda, thank you so much for calling in this morning. That was an absolute blast. And guess what? I've got one last chance for some water park passes coming up tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. It's the last family 4-pack to Point Mallard Water Park in Decatur. So be listening then. And of course, tomorrow at around 7 o'clock, we're going to be having the car line competition too. Your chance to win 3 gift cards. And that's always a lot of fun. If you've not done that yet, please get involved with that. It is a blast. All right. So I'm about to dive into a couple of stories here about those stuffed animals, those favorite toys that our kids have, the ones that they can't sleep without. 2 stories about this that I think you're going to absolutely love. So stick around and I'll get into one of them next. But first, here's Benjamin William Hastings with That's the Thing About Praise.
I am feeling sad because she's very sad.
Yeah, that's how a dad feels when their daughter's sad. That's Rudy, you just heard from. Rudy Dominguez. And you see his little girl, Valentina. Well, she's a little sad because you see her best friend's not around anymore. Why is that? Well, her best friend just happens to be an American Girl doll named Beatrice. Here's a little more.
She's my best friend. She has brown hair. She has like my color skin.
Beatrice was a big part of our lives for the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, you heard Rudy say was, because you see the family recently went on a vacation to Tokyo, Japan. And while they were there, well, something happened with Beatrice and she kind of got lost in the shuffle. And sure enough, when they made it home, they realized that Beatrice was nowhere to be found. But once Rudy made it known what exactly had happened, well, some people caught wind of it and said, hey, we think we can help with this. So they reached out to American Airlines, and guess who responded? None other than First Officer James Dannon, who actually lives in the same city as Rudy and Valentina, which is really cool. But you see, he goes to Tokyo quite often, and so he was able to work a little magic. And, well, you see, the thing about first officers, you don't usually hear from them much, right?
I'm the quiet guy that you don't see. Hello.
Beatrice. Thank you.
You're welcome. I like helping people. I mean, that's just what I like doing.
Valentine is so happy to have Beatrice back after so long of a journey. We're talking about a few weeks that Beatrice was missing. Now, what exactly did James do? Yeah, he took a little time, and he reached out to some airports in their lost and found to see if maybe Beatrice was there. Sure enough, found her, was able to bring her back, but on the way, he was able to snap some pictures of Beatrice at these different locations around the world and kind of document their trip, which was really cool when he finally got to sit down with Valentina. And that conversation went a little something like this.
And he traveled a lot.
5,880 miles to Haneda from DFW.
Was he well behaved on the flight?
Very well behaved, yes.
I love that question. Was she very well behaved? Yes, she was. There's something magical about those little toys that our kids just cling to, you know? It's like they have to have them around. I'm so glad that they were able to find Beatrice and get it back to Valentina. That's one of those cool stories. Makes your heart feel good, you know? Well, that story reminded me of something that recently happened right here on the radio. And if you didn't tune in yesterday from 2:30 to 4:30 to the Varsity, then you missed it. But don't worry, I've got a clip from the show coming up. Something to do with something very similar to this. Except instead of a doll, it's a stuffed animal and a local high school senior. I can't wait to share this with you, so stick around. We'll get into it shortly. Now, I want you to stick around because we're going to be talking about Ducky. Who's Ducky? Stick around and you will find out and probably chuckle. Here's Natalie Grant, bringing local high school student athletes into this studio and having some fun. That's what we do every Tuesday from 2:30 to 4:30. It's called the Varsity Radio Show. I don't know if you've got to check it out or not, but we've been doing it for this is our 6th year now. So it's been a blast, right? You get to learn a lot about these kids. So really the focus of this thing is to bring them in and have some fun. Let's learn about life. You know, what are they dealing with right now? What are they really excited about? What's next in their chapter? And why do they love their sport or whatever they do so much? Well, the conversation, it took a turn toward those stuffed animals that our kids really love. Well, it just so happens that the guests yesterday were none other than Kaylee Mastella, and of course we had Olivia Johnson on, both of them from Albertville High School. Now Olivia is a sophomore and Kaylee is a senior. And you see, we always ask the parents who are watching the Facebook Live at the same time that we're on the radio, we ask them to chime in. Let us know about any embarrassing stories, anything we need to know about their kid that we should talk about. And yesterday, that's exactly what happened. Here, take a listen to this little segment and we'll learn a little more about Ducky.
Okay, this is you, Kaylee. This is Jay. He said, ask Kaylee about Ducky.
No!
What happened?
Jay, you're phenomenal.
She doesn't
You're
have
phenomenal.
Ducky. What's a ducky?
It's a stuffed animal.
And what happens when you don't have your ducky?
I can't, I honestly cannot sleep without him.
She got rid of Ducky.
No!
Ducky's been evicted.
No!
She said, wait, no, Ducky stays.
Ducky is sitting
Kaylee,
on
look
my
at me.
bed right
Look
now.
at me. Be honest. Do you still sleep with Ducky?
Every night.
I knew it! I knew it!
Thank you, Jay. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay!
Oh, man.
Follow-up
that's hilarious.
question. When you spend the night at somebody's house,
Yes.
oh my goodness. Does Ducky have to come?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
This is awesome.
And she goes to Alabama or Jacksonville, she's taking Ducky.
Wait, she's a senior in high school, so... Sorry, Jay. She'll get married in the next 5 to 10 years, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Is Ducky?
Yep.
No doubt.
Oh my God!
No
Not
doubt.
even waiting.
No doubt.
She's not
She
even
said,
waiting.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Passing Ducky down to my kid.
Ducky.
Yep.
Ducky staying with you in the hubs one day.
Yeah.
So much fun. That show yesterday was a blast. And hey, if you missed it, guess what? It's still up on socials on YouTube and Facebook. You can go check it out right now. Just type Varsity Radio Show into your social media platform and you can find that video. Plus, it'll be going out as a podcast a little later today over on Spotify. So I wonder, does your child have that stuffed animal? It's that's been a mainstay. It's just has to be in their bed. It's just part of their life. I would love love to hear that story. If you could share it with me, I'd greatly appreciate it. My number's 256-505-0885. Are there any more duckies out there? 256-505-0885. Waiting on your call right now. In the meantime, Mercy Me with To Not Worship You right here on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. I was doing a little research about, like when you go to the gym and you're lifting weights, how do you get your muscles to grow? Actually, it's by pushing your muscles to the point of failure. That maximizes growth. It maximizes it because it maximizes the stress and tension on the muscle fibers. It prompts them to adapt as the body builds them back stronger and larger. However, now this is the kicker. In order for this to work, there needs to be enough time for recovery, during which the rebuilding occurs. So, if we look at our lives and we look at growth as we look at building muscle, it tells me that there has to be a point of failure from time to time. And let's be honest, that's not such a fun thing to be in, right? We don't like failure, but I got a message coming up for you from a guy who's pretty well versed in this topic, that if you're avoiding failure, well, you're kind of not growing. Yeah, hear the whole thing next. So let's talk about failure for a minute, shall we? Yeah, failure is a part of growth. I can think back to many times I've failed in this very seat, behind this very board, pressing buttons, making the music come out, and opening up the microphones. There have been a few times where I've left the microphones open while the music's playing. I was talking about something embarrassing here in the studio with somebody and had no idea it was live on the air. Yes, that has happened before. Has it happened recently? I sure hope not. I haven't noticed if it has. I've grown a little bit. It's something about failing and realizing what has happened that causes you to kind of make sure it doesn't happen again. Wow. Failure. Are you trying to avoid failure every day? I think until we see that it's a necessary part of growth, that we're going to kind of keep ourselves from growing. With a little more on this and to kind of spell it out, here is Tony Robbins. Take a listen.
Success in business, in life, is the result of one thing: good judgment. You make good decisions, you're going to crush it. Now, the problem is, are you always going to make good decisions? Are the people you hire who are maybe not yet as skilled or talented in this area as you, are they going to make bad decisions? Yes or no? Yes. And most of your good decisions came because good decisions are the result of experience. Experience is often the result of bad decisions. That means you're going to have to trust other people to fail and know they're going to fail just like you did, but want to get people who can learn quickly. Our whole goal is not to have people to know the answers. The goal is learn faster. If you can learn faster than other people, and you can, if you recognize patterns, learn to use them, you'll start creating them. You do that, you'll dominate. If you try not to make a mistake, it's already over for you. Because the tempo will not allow you to go without making a mistake.
Wow. It's like a cycle, and failure is a part of it. Mistakes are a part of growth, and that's a part of experience. That's a part of making you better. So I'm so glad that it's that way, because let's be honest, when we fail, we kind of feel less than. We kind of disqualify ourselves from moving forward. But until we realize that, hey, that's just one part of the process, that we can still get up and keep moving. Wow, that's going to change our whole lives when we figure out that, hey, that's not the end. Just because I messed up, that doesn't mean that I'm out of this thing. I'm still in it. I'm in it to win it, because it's a prize worth fighting for. Earlier, we talked a little bit about this stuffed animal called Ducky. Well, coming up here in the next few minutes, I'll tell you about some rubber duckies that a dog really loves. Stick around. The French Bulldog is now the most popular dog breed here in the U.S. What do you think about that? Have you ever seen a French Bulldog? They're kind of cute, right? But hey, I came across a story of one that really likes rubber duckies. And see, problem is, this dog's owner had no idea just how much they were liked. Let's just say a trip to the vet revealed something kind of troubling and weird and quirky all at the same time. So stick around, and I'll tell you all about it.
Oh, rubber ducky, you're the one. You make bath time lots of fun. Rubber ducky, I'm awfully fond of you.
Yeah, you remember that? Sesame Street, the Rubber Duckies song? Yeah, we love Rubber Duckies, right? And it's kind of funny to see the Rubber Duckies making somewhat of a comeback, especially out there on America's highways. Why? Well, because it's become a Jeep tradition. To duck somebody means that when you see a Jeep out in the parking lot, you really like it. Well, you're supposed to have a rubber duck on hand to leave on the handle of their door to let them know you admire their Jeep. And then they take it and they put it on their dash. And have you seen how many rubber duck can fit on a dash? It's pretty cool, right? You get them in all shapes and sizes, all colors. You get it squeaky and the not squeaky ones. Well, humans aren't the only ones who like rubber ducks. Kids, adults alike, yeah, of course. But how about dogs? Yeah, this lady actually collected rubber ducks. And she noticed that one of her red rubber ducks was missing. That's when her attention shifted to her dog, who's a French bulldog. And, you know, something was up with this pup. Just wasn't acting normal. And in fact, you know, when things are going on, like when they're restless and they're panting, maybe they have a hard time and they're choking or they have a swollen stomach, you can tell something's going on. So she took her dog to the vet. And this French bulldog had inside 11 rubber ducks inside its stomach. Luckily, they were all retrieved. The dog is fine. Everybody's happy and well. But yeah, you got to watch it because you see, dogs can't digest rubber. So these kinds of things can cause some really bad problems. But who knew that a French bulldog loved rubber duckies so much? So definitely keeping an eye on that pet. Have you ever had a pet like that? It's like they have pica. They eat the things they're not supposed to. Yeah, my dog Max, he used to eat our daughter's socks. I don't know why he did that, but he did. And every now and then you'd find him in the yard, or he'd throw one up in the middle of the living room floor. Never fun. So moral of the story, our dogs can be weird. Love them, give them all the pets and the kisses and the hugs that you can, and enjoy them, but please keep them safe, right? And watch out for those rubber ducks coming up missing. Here's Sanctus Real with Francesca Battistelli and Won't Let Me Go, right here on the Lifeline Morning Show on your 88.5 JFM, making your day better. They never said what the name of the dog was. I think maybe Quackers? Yeah, that would fit. You ever been invited to somebody's house to eat before? And you look at the table and it's all just gorgeous. I mean, there is a spread on that table that it looks delicious. It smells amazing. But when it comes down to it, you see these empty chairs here and there, but which one's yours? Now let's take it to another extreme. Let's say you weren't invited to somebody's house to eat. Let's say that you're on a cruise ship. Now, I've never gone on a cruise ship myself, so I can kind of hypothetically go through this with you because I've never been there before. But say that you're on this cruise ship, right? And every day there are plenty of delicious meals being served at various restaurants across the ship, right? But you have no idea that was a part of your ticket price. When you paid to get on that cruise, it covered all the food and all the drinks, but you didn't know it. So you brought you a pack of crackers for every day that you were there. And you just sat in your room, you ate your crackers, and life was good. But it would have been much better if you could sit down at the table and eat. Well, I got a little something for you. I think you're really going to love. And I'm not even going to tease it anymore. I'm just going to give it to you. So here it is. This is Brian Trent from Hampton, South Carolina. He pastors the Lighthouse Church, and this is a really cool illustration of you and your seat at the table.
That's your seat at the table, and you need to take it. So one of the things that I've come to realize over the years of being a believer is that my condition is not what makes me a child of God. You see, my condition is one that can fluctuate and change. And if you're honest with me, I bet you yours is too, because there's days that you go out here and you get it right. And then the very next day you seem to get everything wrong. And it's not because you want to, it's just because you're human. And your tendency, like me, is probably to beat yourself up and think that God now, he doesn't love you anymore. He doesn't care for you anymore. And you're solely focused completely on your condition. You see, but your condition is not what made you a child of God to start with. Your bank account means nothing. You're the size of that, the church affiliation, your church membership is not what makes you a child of God. Your political party is not what makes you a child of God. It is simply your position in Christ that makes you a child of God. And that's all there is to it, because your condition changes and it fluctuates, but your position in Christ does not. And that is what makes you and me a child of God. Listen, Ephesians 2, and I'm going to read this. It says, but because of his great love for us, God, who is rich in mercy, made us alive with Christ, even when we were dead in transgressions. It is by grace that we have been saved. It is not by our works. It is not by the conditions around us or the conditions of my head, thankfully. But that also means that I am a joint heir with Christ. Romans 8 says that as a believer, I am a joint heir with Christ. Now that is really hard to wrap my mind around, because I'm like, wait a second, a believer, and wait a minute, I'm a joint heir with Christ. I mean, that's a lot. Years ago, I was in the insurance industry and we did some financial things, and I went with one of my friends to see this lady who was inheriting this large sum of money, and she didn't know she was inheriting it, but we thought she did. And so he's sitting there at the table and we're sharing this information with her. And the more that we share with her, the further in her chair she goes back. And it quickly becomes very apparent to us that she has no idea that she is inheriting well over $1 million. Now, I'd love to be in that position. I would love to know what a struggle that is. But, here she was. And I thought, after we left there and the pastor mind started kicking in, I thought, wait a second, I'm a joint heir with Christ. And I'm not an heir because of my condition, but I'm an heir because of my position. You see, that lady that inherited that amount of money, it wasn't because of her good condition. It wasn't because of her good looks. It wasn't because of her membership somewhere. It wasn't any of those things that made her an heir. It was simply one thing that made her an heir, and that was her position, because the one who had passed away had chosen her to be the heir. You see, there might have been others around her that were better than her. There might have been others that were more qualified than she was, but she was not the one. They were not the ones that were chosen. She was, and she was an heir because of her position. You see, but if I'm an heir because of my position, then that means also in Ephesians 2, it actually says that I have been seated with Christ in heavenly places. So that means as an heir, I also have a seat at the table. And here's why I want to encourage you today, because I struggled with this for years, because I thought, I see people doing things for God and I see God using people in great ways. And I'd really love that. But the truth is, I'm not worthy. I'm really not worthy. And what we really see in our minds is this table. And at this table, there's this empty seat. And we're waiting on somebody to come fill that empty seat. And we think, partially, maybe that seat's mine, but we're like, no, that can't be mine because I'm not qualified. I'm not good enough. There's somebody else that is. There's somebody else that has their name on the church membership, or there's somebody else that has a bigger bank account than me. There's somebody else that speaks better or teaches better, or somebody that looks better than me. But the truth is, that seat that you're looking at is going to stay empty, because it's not anybody else's seat but yours. It is your seat. And God is saying to you today to come and take your seat at the table, because that seat has got your name on it. And when you sit down at the table with the Father, you get to hear what the Father's saying. You get to do what the Father's doing. You get to eat what the Father's eating. So I say, just like me, it's time to quit flirting in the banquet hall, if you will, smelling the things there, seeing the things, hearing things from afar, when we can actually sit at the table, because God has given us a seat to sit down there for us, not because of our condition, but simply and only because of our position in Christ do we have a seat at that table. And I say to you today, what are you waiting for? Stop flirting with it. Take your seat at the table. Love you guys.
So when somebody's having a hard time, what's the best thing to do? Leave them alone, or, I don't know, check on them? It's weird, right? Depending on the situation, the circumstance. Well, hey, I came across this story and I wanted to share it with you, because you never know how you might be able to impact somebody's day in a very creative way. See what you think about this.
Hello, my name is Matt. I'm a teacher, and today I want to tell you a story about a brownie. I was teaching 6th grade and I was not having a good day. My students weren't doing anything out of the ordinary, but my patience limit was already at its max. I was up all night with one of our kids. I woke up and the car battery was dead. And then when I got to school, the classroom technology wouldn't work, so that meant my lesson was doomed for the day. On top of all of it, I was not able to put on a happy face for my students, and that gave me teacher guilt, and then I felt even worse. I don't even like thinking about it. At lunchtime, I was in my room trying to reset, and that's when Arkell walked into my room with a tray full of brownies. Hey, Mr. Ike, it seemed like you were kind of having a bad day, so I got a bunch of kids from class to donate their brownies, and now you have a brownie mountain. I don't think I've flipped from a frown to a smile so fast in my entire life. And you know what? I actually felt better the rest of the day, until I got a bellyache from eating all the chocolate. I think we often try to give people space when they are in a bad mood, but maybe that's not always the right move. Maybe they just need a genuine dose of kindness to get them back. Or, you know, a tray full of brownies couldn't hurt either.
A tray full of brownies will definitely help. Oh, I love that story. You know, often we don't get to see from the perspective of a teacher. I'm so glad that Matt puts that up on his Facebook, or actually TikTok page. So if you want to go check him out, he's really a lot of fun to follow. I can tell you, all you have to do is type in Matt Eich, E-I-C-H. It's actually Ike, Matt Ike. And you can find him there. He's always just him in front of the camera, and he's got a topic above his head. He's wearing a hat and usually a t-shirt, and he's just telling stories from the classroom. It is so cool to see how these kids really interact with him. It's cool. All right, well, hey, that's going to wrap it up for me today here on the Lifeline Morning Show. I hope you've had a great morning so far, and it continues to be great. I do want to leave you with one final thought, though. Now, this is that inspiring quote that I started the show off with. I'm so glad to end it this way, too, because I've had 4 hours to think about this. So, the quote is, we must believe that we are gifted for something, and that this thing, at whatever cost, must be attained. I love the fact that God has a plan and a purpose for your life. You're here for a reason, at just this right time. It's the time for you to be here. You're thinking, well, what if I were born in the 1600s? What if I were born 1,000 years in the future? No, you were born for such a time as this. I know that phrase gets kind of thrown around a lot around church, but it's true. God has you here for a reason. So, have you figured out what it is yet? But one thing I've learned is lots of times that purpose is right under our noses. He puts these things that we're drawn toward in our lives. And lots of times by embracing that, well, we find out what our purpose is. So maybe yours is really blessing some people with some good cooking. If so, hey, my name's Steven, and I work at 88.5 JFM. I can tell you the address you could bring food to if you'd like. Anyway, oh, maybe you make cakes. My birthday's coming up on Friday, so I would gladly accept. No, I'm just having some fun. But what I'm saying is, use what God has gifted you with to make a difference in this world. Maybe you're a really good listener. Well, some people just need to talk to you. So having that open ear, well, makes a big difference. Thanks for hanging out with me. See you right back here tomorrow from 6 to 10.